my favorite artists. I'm here today to show you one of our cute and fun art projects that we're going to do while you are remote learning. So today we are going to be doing this little guy right here. I think I titled it the Guided Drawing Watercolor Bunny. And this is really fun and really easy, but I think you will enjoy it so much you may even want to try to find other animals to draw and use this technique on, because we're actually going to be painting with watercolor markers. So I'm hoping, artists, that you have some Crayola, just water-based, not permanent markers at home, because you will need those for this one. So if you don't have them, there's something really easy for mom to grab you at the grocery store the next time she goes out for provisions. So you can watch this video through, and then I would go ahead and stop it, rewind it, and then try to do it along with me. So watch it first all the way through so you kind of get the gist of what we're doing, and then come back to it, and you can pause it when you need to and kind of do it along with me. So we're doing this one, and here are the things you're going to need. You're going to want some paper towel. You're going to want one of your watercolor sheets. They're the thicker paper, and they have a little bit of bumpiness to them. So this is, you can pick whichever size you want, but this will work the best for what we're going to do. So you need your markers. You need the paper that is kind of a watercolor paper, or multimedia would be okay. You're going to need a good old number 2 pencil, which we're going to really lightly with. A cup of water, okay, and one of your new paintbrushes. That is all we are going to need for this, okay? So I'm going to start by thinking about how big I want my ears for my bunny. And I'm going to leave quite a bit of space, maybe a third of the space up here for the bunny. And I'm going to just start with a very lightly drawn. And sometimes I practice kind of how big I want it by going around and around in circles without actually doing it yet. So I'm going to decide I want it to be about that big. Okay, and it's certainly not a perfect circle at all. In fact, it's a little bit lopsided, but I'm doing it so lightly you can barely see it. Okay, so I'm going to do the circle first, and even if I want to sketch a little bit better to make that look a little bit more even, I can. Okay, and now I'm going to come down just a little ways from there, maybe 2 finger spaces, and I'm going to make a little V right in the middle. Okay, so I might even draw a center line down my circle, and ooh, I got to move my V over. It wasn't right on it there. And I'm going to put a little V, just like it's making an arrow almost. So now here's what I have so far. Okay, I've got the circle, lightly drawn, and a little V about 2 finger spaces down from there. And again, I've left plenty of room above here for my ears, so I don't want to draw my circle too high, or I'll have bunny ears that are teeny tiny, and that'll look weird. All right, so again, I'm lightly sketching, and I am erasing if I don't like something and it doesn't show, because I'm touching my pencil so lightly to this paper. Now from here, I'm going to come to the sides of my circles, up by kind of where I think the middle of the sides are. And I'm going to swoop down and make kind of a curved hook that I'm going to attach to my V. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing, trying to make it very symmetrical on the other side. So it's kind of like a funny little looped hook. And again, if I goof it up, I can, since I'm sketching so lightly. Okay, so now here's what I have. So the last thing I just did was I went from the side, I looped around to my V, and I looped around to my V. I may even want it to make it a little bit closer in here to the center. So I may make that come a little bit farther in, right to the point of my, and then I just erase gently. We're almost there, guys. This is so easy. You guys are gonna love this. It's so cool. Okay, so I decided I wanted it to touch the point. All right, now I'm going to start erasing the stuff I know I don't need. So I'm going to erase this part of the circle and the line coming down. So I'm just going to get rid of that. The boo-boo line in my circle that I used to make it a little bit nicer and rounder. And I'm going to erase, because those lines I do not even need as a guideline anymore. And I might fill in a little bit here just gently. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to erase this in a second anyway. All right, so here's what I've got. Do you recognize that? You have got yourself a cute little bunny face. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the little shoulders in. And if you look at the picture, some of the bunnies have very narrow shoulders. Some of them go all the way to the edges of the paper. I kind of like this better. It looks like he's kind of standing up a little bit and not just plop down. So I usually make mine a little bit on the narrower side, but I'm just going to go really right from the bottom of his little jowls there. And just make 2 kind of curved vertical lines. And I like to give him that little half moon belly fur right here. Okay, so let me show you what I have here. All right, so now he's got a little body, and all I can see is his shoulders, and that's okay. That's just fine. Now you have to decide on your ears. This is the fun part that can give your bunny some personality. Do you want them both standing up, very alert? Do you want one standing up and one flopped over? You decide how you want your ears to be, but ears are pretty simple. They're just kind of like giant. I start at the top, and I come down in a curved way again. Oops, I don't like that. That's way too far over. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a line in between, like right about in the halfway point here. Then I'm going to go over about the same distance on either side. So I kind of have a guideline. Otherwise, I'm going to get all wonky here. So maybe I'll start from the bottom since that helps me keep myself on track. And I'm going to go all the way to the top of the page with these ears. They're going to almost touch the very tippity top. In fact, they might touch the tippity top. Then curve it around. And again, these are nice fat bunny ears. I guess my other line wasn't so bad after all. And there's one ear. Okay, so I made one ear standing up nice and tall, kind of fat. I don't want it too skinny or too pointy. There's kind of a nice curved oval that touches the top and attaches to his little head. And I think I'm going to do the other one sort of lopped over. So I'm going to come up about halfway. Then I'm going to take a hard right here, a curved right. And just go about that far. Okay, if you want the other one just to stand up, you can just make the other one just like that. Now I'm going to come up from the head, about the same amount of width I have here. It's about that far. Okay, now you see what I need to do? I need to finish my hook. So all I'm going to do that is finish the hook. Maybe a little short, but it's still cute. Okay, so that is my bunny's lopped over ear. I think I could make that a little longer. And again, since I touched so lightly with my pencil, I can do that. I can erase and add a little bit more length to that bunny ear. I like it a little longer. Okay, now here comes the cool fun part. We are going to take our Crayola marker, and I chose brown because I wanted my colors a little more soft, and you want to choose a really nice dark bold color. So I also chose purple. I did some red. I think I did some, well, no, I didn't do green. I'm going to do blue. And maybe some of this pink for where I want the pinky stuff to be. Okay, so here's what you're gonna do. First thing I did was kind of weird, is after I did all this sketching, I went back over my sketch lines and I just kind of did one little erase all the way around to lighten those so I can still see them, but I don't want any pencil to show through my painting. So I'm gonna just kind of go back over it. So I'm gonna just trace my lines with my eraser, just to soften those. I want to be able to see them, but I don't want to be able to see them after I put the marker on. So I want to be able to trace it still with my marker, but I don't want them to show once I start this technique. So I'm going to go back over just to make it super light. Okay, so when I show you this, you are going to see how faint it got. You can barely see it anymore, but I can see it when I try to go back over it with my marker. And now I'm going to trace it with marker. And I'm going to go fast just so I don't know how to speed and do all that silly, crazy technique stuff. So I'm just going to go over with my brown marker because I want that to be my sort of my outline color. You can use black if you want to, and you can experiment. Try it both ways. I just happen to like it to look a little softer and a little more muted. So I'm going to trace back over just the outline, okay, of everything I did here. I'm not going to worry too much about making it super perfect, but I'm going to do nice and dark. Shoulders come down here. His little half moon belly right there. Okay, now you notice I haven't given him any eyes or anything yet, and that's on purpose. I'll show you in a second what I'm doing. Now here comes the extra weird part. You're going to take some of your darker colors and think about, again, where the value is going to be. Where is it going to be dark? So I know it's going to be dark where his little chin meets his chest. So I'm just going to literally scribble over. So here I have outline, and now I'm going to scribble with my purple over my brown line, just in a narrow scribble, not too much, okay? And I'm going to do that all the way around the bunny, and I'm going to keep going, okay? Just with all my different colors. So I'm going to go, maybe I'll put some purple up here, also where I know it's going to be dark. So you're just making ziggy-zaggy colors right now, all around. Down here, I'm gonna put some more purple. Maybe a little bit here in the middle. All over, no real right or wrong. I'm trying to be thoughtful of the color and the form here. I'm gonna do some blue. And I do try to balance it so that it looks the same on both sides a little bit, but I'm not like stressing over it. But again, use dark, dark colors. Now I'm gonna come back with some pink, and I know those probably have some pink in it. So I'm gonna give that some pink. And some red, just for another little bit of pop of color. Anywhere I have space left, I'm gonna come back with the red here. And again, look how not careful I'm being. And I know my markers are mixing a little bit, that's okay. Now, oops, here's where the really cool magic happens. You're gonna take your water and your new paintbrush, and it'll be kind of stiff at first. You're gonna have to crack it a little bit to get it to be nice and flexible for you, but you're gonna get lots of water. Get your paper towel ready, okay? And you are gonna paint right over these marker lines. You see what I'm doing here? So I'm just painting right over those lines. And it's making that watercolor and the water-based markers run. Okay, and a little bit more water because you want it nice and wet. And it's fuzzying up the outline, but it's also making really cool runs of color. Now, when it gets too dark in a spot, like I don't want that whole ear to be so dark, I dab it with the paper towel to get a little bit of that definition in the middle again. And I just keep on going. I'm gonna do the whole bunny's face, and that smeary color is what I want. So I'm not going, oh no, it's smearing. That's what we want it to do. Oops, I kind of went out of bounds a little bit. I'm trying to stay pretty close to my line. I'm not going outside the boundary too much of my bunny. I'm trying to stay very closely inside there. Okay, so here before I go much further, I'm gonna dab some more because I really don't want it running. Since I have this standing up, I don't want it to run too much. And if I see up here, still kind of seeing a lot of the zigzag, I'll come back over it again, do it one more time. Because I don't want the zigzag so much to show. I don't mind if they show a little bit, but not so much. Okay, I'm gonna lay mine down now and do the rest here so it doesn't run everywhere on my table. And I'll pop it back up when I get it to the spot here. Going fast, and it doesn't take long. It's pretty easy. Now you're gonna wanna let this dry a little bit before you do the next step. So I actually have one up here that you see drying. That's I did earlier. Okay, and again, I'm gonna dibbity dab where I want it to stay. I still want definition between the little jowls, the little cheeks, and his chest. So I wanna keep that so that I can still see that. Okay, but now you see how cool that looks? That looks like something you would buy in an art museum or something. You guys are so good. All right, so now this is gonna dry. Now what I have here is one I did just a few minutes before as I tested this out to make sure it worked the way I wanted it to. And I may even like that one better. It's a little darker. But anyway, so after it's nice and dry, I can come back and I'm gonna use a permanent marker to add these little these little eyes and eyelashes. So they kind of go up here on the side. And then if I wanted to, I could even come back with a little bit more pink and make that a little bit more defined for his little nose. Okay, so I can do that too. And I might even do that just a tiny bit of wet. But again, this is yours, so play with it and do how you like it. I just want a little bit more nose, okay? So I put a little bit more nose on there. And then I'm gonna put his little eyeballs on, and hopefully I don't mess this up because I'm going so fast, but I would just want some little eyes. And I'm gonna put little eyelashes. And you can decide, hope I'm on the right, how big you want those to be. But now I have created a cute little bunny. Isn't that precious? All right, guys, that's it for the first lesson on video. A lot of the other ones I've got for you have a link or they have directions printed out that'll be easy for you to read and follow. This one and maybe one or two others I'm gonna do for you live or on video. So have fun and enjoy your bunny.